Hey everybody, it's Dan, and I don't know, I'm really not feeling it today, so I don't really want to be doing this, but I made a promise and I said I was going to try my hardest to do a video every day during the month of October on different horror movies, and I'm going to stick to it. So I'm just going to make this one here while I'm cooking myself up something for dinner real quick. Fortunately, this one isn't going to be particularly long because it's all about Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, which is a horrible, horrible film. Now, you might, from the sound of that title, expect there to be, um, some scenes of Jason just slaughtering his way through the streets of New York. But instead, it starts off at Camp Crystal Lake, and two recent high school graduates are out there on a boat on the lake, and their anchor ends up snagging an electrical wire, which breaks and fries Jason and wakes him back up. And he just kind of, climbs back up out of the lake onto the boat, kills both of them, and stays on the boat. And somehow, I guess, ends up going from the lake to the Atlantic Ocean. I don't know, but whatever. So he ends up on a ship that called the Lazarus, rather appropriate, where all of the other people in that class that just graduated are on, and they're going out to New York on like a little cruise type thing, I guess. And he sneaks on there. One guy sees him do so. Um, and then, of course, he starts slaughtering his way through a cruise ship. That's the majority of the film. It's him slaughtering his way through a cruise ship. He does end up killing off the captain and first mate, of course, so the captain's son ends up trying to take over, captaining the ship. And the guy who saw him get on ends up getting killed because, of course, they assume that it's him that's actually killing people, but it's not. It's Jason. He's telling the truth when he says that Jason Voorhees came aboard the ship. Um, oh, yeah, meanwhile, there's one gal who keeps having visions and dreams of, like, young Jason as a child. And apparently, she had been attacked by him many years ago when she was much younger and just suppressed the memories and is only now kind of having them resurface because she's afraid of water ever since the incident. Okay, whatever. Um, Eventually, what seems to be about, 10 or 11 hours into the film, which is only actually about an hour and a half long, but it feels like 10 or 11 hours, they do end up in New York. And Jason, of course, is there along with the remaining survivors from the ship. One of them, it's actually kind of cool. He's like a boxer, for like the school boxing whatever, and he decides that he's just going to straight up box Jason, who knocks his head off with one hit. That was sort of funny. Um, but other than that, I don't know. Like, it was just really bad and uneventful and just all out boring. Um, Someone got beat to death with a guitar, which was fine because the gal that happened to was pretty annoying anyway. Um, hmm. Oh yeah, so ultimately it culminates with them in the sewers after Jason has killed off everybody but two remaining survivors and the dog. And he's also killed off two attempted rapists by this point in the city. Uh, and every night, apparently, and they don't even question it either, which I think is odd. But yeah, so apparently, according to this guy who's in the sewer, some technician that's down there working on something, when the two survivors end up going down there, the New York sewer system fills up with toxic waste every night at midnight. Which is, I guess, just a really cheap way of, defeating Jason in this one, because they end up, trying to get out of there before that happens. The technician ends up getting killed, and as they're trying to climb up and everything, of course, Jason is right behind them, and that's when the toxic waste ends up overrunning the entire sewer system. Jason, falls into the toxic waste, and I don't know, apparently drowns again, even though he's, undead at this point. Yeah, and she just sort of sees, one more final image of Jason as, a young boy Jason who has hair for whatever reason, too. That's another thing I found odd, considering the fact that all of the other times that it's ever shown young boy Jason in the films, he didn't have hair on his crazy bulbous head. But yeah, so they basically end it with this little boy sitting in toxic waste, and the two manage to climb up out of the sewer and walk off into the sunrise, as it were. So yeah, really just boring movie, not very good at all. They tried a different idea. They decided to try to, put him into the city. But it didn't work, because he was only there for all of, 15 minutes. The rest of the time took place on the lake on a boat, and then on the cruise ship. And that was it. I mean, it just really wasn't good. But next, fortunately, we have Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday, which was actually a pretty good idea for a film. And yeah, we'll get into that tomorrow.